pressing buttons now. Just trying to headbang as hard as I can back here.
And we are live.
We are live. What is up, Internet? As always, it is the Refuge HQ Livestream. You got your boy Bob here, as well as our CEO, the Bear Man from the Internet, also known as TJ, also known as just a cool cat to hang out with, as always.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
What's up?
Thank you guys for coming by, stopping by for the live stream. As always, the live stream is sponsored by Jocko Fuel. If you haven't gotten a Jocko Go today, I don't really know what you're doing. Or
I got mine right next to me.
That's right. You got to have it.
We started, I would just want to be clear, we started buying this by the pallet before we ever had a professional relationship
Correct.
with Jocko Fuel or Origin.
That's right.
We just
We just did that.
we're not shills, but we just consumed so much of this that we had to have.
It was like, might want to try to talk to them.
Yeah. Oh, turns out the audio is not that good. Oh, insert the plug.
Quick, plug.
Are we on?
No, we're not.
Am I on Facebook? No,
Not
I got off a
devices
few years
for
ago.
Facebook.
I had a device, why didn't you ask?
Plug it in, plug it in. You know what? Forget Facebook.
Your Facebook is basically Instagram for older people. What I've
Oh,
heard.
my battery's low, so I can't help.
Oh, well. As always, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you want to talk about directly, throw it in the chat in all caps. That way we know that you're talking to us and not like your friend who's also in the chat. If we don't hit your topic, it's not because we woke up this morning and hated you. It's because we either didn't see it, didn't want to talk about it, and it's our show, we can do that. Or it's because it just didn't apply to what we were currently discussing. So don't get offended or anything like that. We still love you. We still cherish you. We still want you to have the best day ever. We just gotta stay on topic today.
I woke up hating you this morning. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm purposely ignoring your comment. Just yours, not anybody else's. Just you. So just so we're on the same page here.
You'll have that on those big
It happens. It happens. January 5th is, or I'm sorry, July 5th
Yeah, I was like, wait.
is
Dang, we're back in January?
one of my least favorite days of the year.
Yeah.
And the reason it's one of my least favorite days of the year is it's 1 o'clock Central Time on the 5th. So we're like 12 to 18 hours out from a series of gross injuries that have occurred.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of today, just generally speaking. I'm glad that people had the life-saving equipment that they needed to have on hand.
Yeah.
But I hate when people write in about all the things that happened that were completely avoidable and yet still happened. Now, that being said, if you did render aid with a refuge kit, we want to know about it. We want your after-action report so that A, we can analyze the injuries and the modalities of injury, and B, we can replace whatever components that you used. I don't like it when people explode for no good reason.
Right.
I'm all for America.
Controlled explosions.
Yeah.
Try to save environment.
Wait. Controlled explosions?
So what Dudley's tone right now, the reason that he is angry is because I had an accident yesterday with a firework.
Ooh.
All right,
Two of our
now,
employees actually.
now I'll have you know that these fireworks were being lit off by 100% professionals, like previous artillery guys. And I was just kind of there helping, and one got lit off. It was a short fuse, and so it blew a little bit early, and I caught a spicy boy right in the middle of my back, in between my shoulder blades. Now, we had a medic on hand, we had all the med kits and everything like that, and so he ran up, he checked me. I was good, burn dressing, a little bit of love, and I was solid. I mean, it hurt like a mother sucker, I will tell you that, though. I got hit. It was like, I'm like, oh, I'm hit. Oh, shit, I'm hit. I had to run over. I was like, buddy check me, buddy check. But no, praise y'all, we're okay.
We had another person that was at somebody's backyard fireworks event, and one of the launchers fell over and launched a firework into their lap.
Yeah.
They sustained considerable second-degree burns to their left leg. Dudley and I, were at a public fireworks display yesterday, and somebody who was tertiary to the public fireworks display was launching off like 2-inch mortars in a parking lot, and the launcher fell over and launched underneath their truck, started a small fire. We go across the street to go make sure they're okay, and there's 18 people standing in a circle, shell-shocked, and one lady just kept screaming, "The baby's okay, the baby's okay, the baby's okay." And I'm like, you people are friggin' retarded. Like, I don't know. I'm all for America. I'm just not for, like, let's sustain injuries for no good reason. So.
I mean, we Americans do dumb stuff all the time, so it's not a surprise we did dumb stuff on Freedom Day. It's just like sometimes it's baffling the talent you guys work up with how you are handling explosives. It's like, man, you really tried to light that mortar out the window of a moving car in your hands.
Think about how efficient you are at tying your shoes. Now light one of those on fire and then get away quickly. It's just not good.
I don't understand what happened in your scenario.
There are a lot of
sounded
people.
dangerous.
There's a lot of people that can't tie their shoes good, but think that they can light off explosives.
Oh, okay, yeah. Your fine motor skills are not what they should be to be.
Also, if you had an 18-pack of Natty Light before the festivities began, like, that's a contributing factor. What do you got, Lumph?
Someone asked, are there any plans for a comparison feature on the website? And we actually have an amazing person updating our website right now, but they're wanting to know, like, is there going to be any plans for being able to look at two kits at the same time and comparing them?
That's coming. That's coming. We are, as one of the challenges, I was talking with my wife earlier, we were looking at a webbing supplier for a product that we're working on right now, American military specification, nylon stretch webbing. And she's like, their website is terrible. How does a company get this big and have a terrible website? I said, well, generally speaking, the answer is they got big before the internet, and then they built a website after they were already big. We got big because of the internet, well, because of and the internet, right? And so, like, therefore, we strive to have a really good website regularly. We see the value in that. That being said, the bigger you get, right, the more time it takes to implement things like that, and the more risky it is. You make one small change to your website, and then it's like, it's down, it's not working, hit the back arrow,
There is no back arrow.
And so, like, there's, like, protocols in place about how one, in today's day and age, in 2023, edits their website. Because we want to limit, just like explosives, we want to limit the number of potential catastrophes.
Yeah, you can mess around and play Russian roulette really quick with your number one earner.
Error 404.
Yeah.
You never want to see that.
So all that to say, yes, it's on the list of things to do, but we want to be really careful about how we implement things. And the other thing that most people probably don't realize is on the back end of the website, especially on a platform like Shopify, you have multiple different apps that are running as part of that platform. And if you, just like with your phone, if you had 20 different windows open on your phone, and then you're like, I wonder why my phone's running like shit.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got 20 different apps open, and so how you implement all those different things matters as well.
Yeah, if you ever go on a website and it's like slow as turds and nothing will load, it's probably because on their back end they're not doing a good job of like data mitigation. And so that's something that your better half is awesome at, and is just a freaking rock star. She's been cleaning up our whole website. Praise ya.
Just the like size, the data that you have in a photo.
Yeah, if your photos aren't compressed, right? Yeah.
What's cool is, like, 2 years ago, my wife knew nothing about this. And one of the key places that one of the key ways my wife accelerates and pours value into this company is whatever the problem is we're having right now that we don't have a person for, she just figures it out.
Yep.
Just like
before that, it was inventory. Like a couple years ago, it was inventory, and the inventory system that we use, the person the guy who founded the company called us and was like, you shouldn't be able to do that. And my wife was like, yeah, I know, so I changed it so it could do that. And he's like, wait, what? Got on an hour-long Zoom call with her to figure out how she changed his program to make it do that thing that for a decade he'd been trying to figure out how to do.
That's so awesome.
And she has like 3 months of experience with it at this point.
Yeah, I am amazed at the changes that the website is going through, because I remember I used to have a giant book of HTML code that I had to type in by hand when I used to build websites. And now it's just like, oh, this plugin, that plugin, they can do that. It's like mind blown.
Yeah, my dad way back in the day, my dad had a company called AIT, American Ingenuity and Technology. And I remember we built computers in the downstairs of our house. And he had DoD contracts and blah, blah, blah. So we built computers, like insert the RAM, right? Insert the, oh, you want a VGA optics card, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. We build it. Well, he got a book that was like 4 times larger than a Bible.
Wow.
And it was HTML code for dummies.
Yep.
And it was like this big.
Good grief.
He read it in a day and a half, and then a day and a half later had a website up.
Dude, that's awesome.
Guy never graduated high school, ran away from home at 15 so he could learn how to go splice telecom cable, and then now he's just got, I have a defense contract. I make computers now. Blah, blah. I'm like, all right, dude.
Imagine waking up and being like, I'm going to go grab a DoD contract for computer building.
Also, what are computers?
Yeah. also, does anyone know what the internet is?
Well, what happened was
What happened?
he had these splicing contracts for the DoD where he passed like every background check known to man, and he was one of a handful of people in the country that could go in and wire military bases, like, you know,
Wire.
TSSCI, you know, military bases, the top end shit. And so because he had that background, his first computer contract was one of the telecom purchasers from the DoD came to him and was like, hey, we need computers.
Right.
We want to get them from you. And he's like, I don't know anything about computers. And they're like, you need to figure out computers so we can get them from you. We trust you.
Right.
This is very sensitive. We need you to build these. And he's like, okay. And my dad being my dad, the next day he's like, I guess I have a computer business. Just want to figure out how these damn things work. So.
Oh my gosh, that's literally like, that's insane.
It's America.
That is America.
That's America. Speaking of America, I really want to thank you, boys and girls on the other side of the screen. The Adventure Kit sale has been going incredibly well. We have...
tread lightly. Tread lightly.
We have
There's
only
so few left.
African American kits left? I don't know what you want me to say, Doug. High melatonin
We
kits
have,
left?
it was exposed to the sun for thousands of years. that's the type of adventure kit we have left.
I don't know how to... What do you want me to say, Dudley?
It's black, damn it! They're black!
They're only the black kits are left.
But it's not because they're not good. They're still
Oh
great!
gosh, Bob, stop. You're making it worse.
They're more athletic.
They're highly valuable members
The
of
second that they overturn affirmative action.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. And no live. Shut the business down.
It's a good thing we're not publicly traded.
Yeah, that's
this is,
right.
This is the actual reason we have no investors.
Yeah. Lauren comes over. They're dumping all of our stock. TJ's like, we don't have stock.
Did you do an IPO while I was out of town?
No. That would have been a terrible idea.
Oops.
I'm the one who says stupid stuff. Somebody's like, I suggest investors. Have you heard Bob?
No.
Someone
no.
said, I would love if you could come up with a kit that would mount to a bicycle.
Hmm.
Well, make sure we clip that for later. That'll be the Refuge Industries ringtone.
That's so
I am-
right now. Britt just started sweating.
Yeah.
She's just like, damn it.
Look
We
at, her,
did-
look at her looking over her desk. right
We
now.
just
Like,
talked
that's
about
my
not
idea.
talking about this. All right, we're not going to talk about it here, but I will have you know, especially if you're on Patreon, you know that we are in the process of prototyping something that's going to be awesome for this application. When I have it available for the general population, I will bring it to you. It's an incredibly affordable kit. Retail price is looking at somewhere between $25 and $29
Yep.
retail.
Easy.
Super easy peasy. So that's coming.
Someone said, Dudley, you just have a great tan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do great in the sun.
I'm not gonna be baited into this, internet. I'll tell you right now. All right, this is called self-control. Okay, something that Dudley doesn't know anything about.
Are you kidding me? The man keeps himself from killing people with his own hands all the time.
Yes,
That is true.
But he kills them with his words. All the
Now
same.
that is also equally true.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of killing people with your words, we just this morning figured out that we're gonna have a booth at SHOT Show.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Whoa!
you're finding out right now.
Wait. Am
You're
I
not the
official?
last to know.
I'm not the last to
I just
know.
found out too.
Well, sound travels faster.
You're closer to us than her, so
No.
you technically found out
Okay.
before her.
I guess I found out. So we're having
Also, my wife's sitting right here. Hey, by the way, we're going back to SHOT Show.
I heard you.
Okay, cool.
Well, it was on the calendar. I just didn't know
I was
that,
eavesdropping.
that we're getting a booth.
Yeah, we're getting a booth at SHOT Show. Not like Hornady.
No,
we're not
we're not.
spending $1 billion on
That
a
is
booth.
okay.
We're getting a booth, not 12 booths.
Yes. And
Will it be
that
3
one 100 square feet of space.
Was like, wow.
Yeah.
Is that the price? Was like,
Hold
wow.
on. Was your producer talking to you in your?
No,
Why
no,
were
I
you
was just
doing
making
that?
sure that it was off.
Somebody from the other side of the camera just went. And I immediately was like, oh.
That is an FBI van. Ah,
Shit, getting surveilled. That is crazy.
Duck Bob. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to SHOT Show in 2024. We'll have a booth. We'll be there. If you're also going to SHOT Show, stop by, say what's up. You just got back from NASRO.
Yeah, I did.
Well, you want to tell the good people what the hell NASRO is?
Yeah, so
It's not a lasso competition.
It's not a lasso competition. Dud was wrong about that. It was a good guess. NASRO is the National School Resource Officer Organization Conference, right? And so what NASRO is it's a really cool organization that brings all of our school resource officers under one roof for a week. And we all get together and we have conversations as to what is working and what is failing inside of the schools for protection of kids. So we talk about drug mitigation, bullying mitigation, sex crimes, sex trafficking. We talk about violence inside of the schools, mass shooting preparedness and prevention. And then we talk about medical inside of the schools. And so we had a really awesome opportunity. We were one of the only vendors there that were actually getting kits out into the hands of the school resource officers, and then also teachers, principals, superintendents, whatever it is. Everything from, you know, the Department of Justice to the FBI is there. And so me, Foe, and Heath had the opportunity to sit down with probably like 700-ish school resource officers, and they were all decision makers, right? And we got to really, really talk to them about the application of medical kits inside of schools. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of insider info right now. So the way that these schools right now are setting up their emergency plans is they're building out what they're calling go bags. And so they have these go bags positioned inside of different locations strategically in the school, right? And the idea is if something bad were to happen, you would be within a couple minutes of these go bags. So you could go, get a go bag, and then go to wherever the emergency was. And then we had a great conversation about that, where I would just whip out a stopwatch, and I would ask them, how long, do you have for a massive bleed, and how far away is your go bag? And everybody realized that they needed a tourniquet on them then, right there. So we had great conversations about that, about putting desk kits inside of the desk of every teacher in every classroom, so that way they are where the students are, making sure that everybody has the proper preparedness, knowing where they're going to go. And then also, we just had a really good conversation with a lot of police officers. So I asked a lot of police officers, hey, do you carry a tourniquet? And almost every single one of them said yes. And I said, in a professional capacity? They're like, yes, absolutely. I was like, great. I was like, do you carry one in a personal capacity? And they're like, well, sometimes. I was like, do you carry a gun? And they're like, yeah, every day. And some of them were like, our department makes us carry a gun even when we're off duty. I was like, wow. And I said, do you carry a tourniquet then? They're like, no. And I asked them a question. I said, why is it when you are working for the city and protecting the city that that medical becomes a priority for you, that first aid and your safety becomes a priority, but when you're protecting your family and when you're protecting yourself, medical and safety no longer becomes a priority?
Oof.
And a lot of them, it broke them. I asked one guy point blank, I said, why is your wife less important than your principal? And he didn't have an answer.
And he got a first aid kit right there. He was like, dude, you're right. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just that this thing fits in my back pocket and this fits in my front pocket, and I am force multiplied every time I carry it. Like, I'm prepped and I'm ready to go. And so it was a really, really good conversation. We have the opportunity. We're going to go to a specialty hostage negotiation conference too, that's being put on by the FBI to try to talk to them about, hey, carrying first aid kits and just really thinking about why are we doing what we're doing. That was a big part of the conversation I had with the president in Azro. You know, why are we going into the building? Like, the active shooter happens and it's awful and it's terrible. Why are the cops going in? And everybody was like, to stop the threat, stop the threat, stop the threat. And I just asked the question. I was like, what's the problem with the threat? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, what is the threat doing? And they're like, oh, he's hurting people. I was like, so that's the actual problem, is that people are hurt. Like, that's why we want to go in there, because if a guy was just in a field shooting a gun off, screaming at the world, that would just be Oklahoma. That's not anything special.
That's our neighbor.
I was like, we're going into that school because people are being hurt, or we're going into that mall because people are being hurt and we need to save their lives. And so if the officers don't have those tools on them, and it almost is just as effective for them to not go in.
Yep.
Right? Because otherwise it's almost adding to the casualty count, right? Because it's just as likely that they get hurt, right? And if they also don't have their first aid gear, then it's just another person EMTs have to work on when they get into the building finally. And so we had these deep conversations, and that was actually the president of Nazaro, after I talked to him about that was when he invited us out to the FBI conference, and it's just really cool to see how the industry is receiving this information. You know, 10 years ago, cops wouldn't carry a tourniquet. They would not.
Many of them were not allowed to because of their uniform code.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And so to now be having the conversation of, like, not only carrying a tourniquet, but do you carry a tourniquet for a child? Right?
No.
We had a lot of elementary school officers that just didn't know that a cat tourniquet wouldn't work on that 4-year-old.
Slishy.
Or the Slishman, right? So that's a great alternative. And so really, really good time at Nazaro. We had a great connection with the organization. I'm really excited to see what Refuge does with Nazaro moving forward. I think it's an awesome opportunity. If you're watching this and you're a parent, I would reach out to your school and ask them about the emergency preparedness plan. Like, you should get to know that. You should be briefed on that as a parent. If you're sending your child somewhere every single day, you should know where your kid's going to be if there's a fire. You should know where your kid's going to be if there's a tornado, or if some bad guy came in, right? Just any of those situations. And if they don't have medical as a priority, what are you going to do to advocate for that? Mm-hmm. Your kid goes there, not mine, right?
Yep.
So just food for thought on that. Nazaro was awesome, though. Thanks for asking.
And to that point, we put kits in our kids' schools.
Yep.
We went to the leadership and the teachers in those schools and said, you need to know this.
Yep.
And then, at no cost, trained them on all this stuff so that they have the tools, right? And it was also understood, hey, anything bad ever goes down here, we're coming.
Yep.
So you should just factor that into whatever your crisis response plan is. We're coming. You may not be in that position in your daily life, but you can at least have that conversation with the educators and say, you need to have these things, and if I need to be the one to teach you basic stop the bleed, I'll do that.
Yeah.
What do you got, Luke?
What is a good kit for a college kid in a dorm?
You're looking at it.
Yep.
Slick kit and SWAT tee, soft tee, or a cat. I like the soft tee. It just fits in your pocket.
Driftless Security on TikTok just ordered 2 orange cat tourniquets. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, if you're a college kid, we make these in black. They go on the outside of a backpack. Super easy. Really, really discreet. Nobody will notice it. It'll just look like a buckle. This will fit inside of the front pocket of a backpack. Super easy. And then you have your first aid on you all the time. I actually had a buddy who we, like, college time, right? Everybody was dumb. And this is at K-State. We were just messing around at a frat house, like just being idiots. And he, like tracks, you know, and he jumped off of a ledge, trying to like jump over a table and be cool, landed in the table, and like sliced the ever-loving crap out of one of his legs because it was a glass table. It was really serious. Like, I remember, I forget who it was, somebody's brother was like in the army and taught him manual pressure.
Yep.
and that's how they got it to stop. But he absolutely had an arterial
Wow.
bleed, and I remember we sat there for probably like 9 minutes, like
Yep.
pushing the guy who was kneeling on his leg
Yep.
to keep that blood from going. Like, not even knowing. He's like, you got to put your weight on me. And we were all like on top of this dude,
Yep.
on top of the screaming guy, waiting for EMS. And then EMS showed up and put a tourniquet on. But it's not bullets. It's not like all gunfighting tactical stuff.
I was at a party, and I was walking around barefoot, as one would do if they'd been drinking at a party
Naturally.
for 7 hours.
You never had alcohol in your life.
Not even a little bit. And there was a beer bottle laying on its side on the floor. And I stepped down on it, and it broke. And a piece of glass about the size of a great white shark's tooth went up inside the arch of my foot and severed the artery.
Ooh.
There's a little smaller than the diameter of your pinky, runs through the bottom of your foot. Severed it completely. I was drunk. I was like, that's a lot of blood. I didn't have the skills that I have today. Locked myself in the bathroom. Luckily, there was a nurse there, a girl who's going to school for nursing. She's banging on the door. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm bleeding. She's like, you should open the door. And I'm like, but I'm bleeding. And she's like, I know, open the door. So I open the door, and she takes a towel, wraps my foot up. They walk me to the couch. I put my leg up. They raise my leg, right? Holding pressure on the thing. I lost 5 units of blood.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Like that, from a beer bottle
Dude,
at a party.
That'd be a really lame way to die.
I know. What do you got, Dud?
Now, if you think about that story you just told, think about your ego and how your ego almost got you dead.
Uh-huh.
Like people need to come to training and get over what they think they know. If you need help, say I need help. If you're bleeding out, say somebody help me, and have the skills and training to do so.
Well, that's something our brother Saw talks about a lot, is pressure and accountability in training. Real pressure, real accountability, and in his words, destroying your myopic paradigms. One of the things that we talk about all the time at Refuge Training is that you do not rise to your level of expectation, you fall to your level of training. And especially in a stressful situation. You're not going to instantly just become the hero if you haven't been taught how to do these things.
Yeah.
And what's super cool is some of the people who have written in, who have rendered aid and saved lives after going to Responder 3, have written in and have said that the training was actually more stressful than the actual situation that required them to use the training. And so when they're watching somebody bleed out for real, and they're like, I got this, they can hear Phelps or Cap or Twitch in their ear screaming, tighter than you think it should be.
Yep.
And they're like, you know what? In real life, it actually wasn't as bad as the training was. And then with that, a lot of people go, oh, the training must be like really brutal. I probably shouldn't go. Man, we've had literal grandmas and grandpas
And she
complete
rocked
this.
it.
And she rocked it. And that's
Yeah.
like, if you're a 20-year-old PT stud, yeah, you're going to get a little bit more than grandma is.
Trust me, we're going to put a little
Okay,
pepper on
we
that.
were 6
Yep.
weeks postpartum and did 1, 2, and 3, and
And
like.
nailed it.
And actually,
So-
she was like one of the best essential responder students we've ever had.
I
was
wonder
like,
why
well,
though. She lives her life in this building.
Yeah,
But
so, like,
she did have a
But
like,
that goes back to the ethos of the company, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody here has participated in training.
Yeah.
Everybody here, I mean, you would at pod meetings, plan of the day meetings, Bob will just be like, shots fired, tournament, left leg,
I
go.
literally,
so annoying.
I will grab explosives, I will throw them down, scare the shit out of
At 8
everybody.
o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and like if you don't have it on you, you just sprint to your desk or wherever your tourniquet is. Or if I left mine at home, I come to media because I have like 27.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do if somebody doesn't get it applied in time. I haven't gotten that far. 'Cause
It's a write up.
I know it's like gotta be a
Oh my
serious
gosh, flip,
thing.
you're just like you're fired for the day.
Yeah,
Like,
I
get
don't.
out.
Maybe it is like fired for the day.
Go home.
What you got, Dud?
Monica, just Monica, that's her name on Instagram.
Oh, what's up, Just Monica?
What kit would you recommend for a family of 5 who lives in a country miles away from medical help?
Adventure kit.
Yeah, it's on sale right now.
100% the adventure kit. The original adventure kit, the 0.0 version of the adventure kit, lives on top of my fridge in my house. And it was one of the first kits that I put together. And it was, at the time, we were like, I don't know if we need a kit this big. And then we started doing some AARs, after action reports, of like, I have used this kit, that one kit, more than any other kit that I have on people, on dogs, on a cat, on a couple of chickens, on more sheep than I can count.
Yep.
Like, if it has a pulse, this kit has been used on it.
Multiple chickens are still going because of the adventure kit.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
we had someone save their chicken with freaking quick clot.
Yeah, that was a little extreme.
Yeah, I would not have done that.
Really love your chicken.
I also shoot chickens from the porch.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's a difference here. You shoot roosters,
yeah.
save chickens.
Yeah, occasionally. I've been known to kill a hen or two
Yeah.
as
I don't
well,
know
but
what I could see
but I'm-
today, like quick clotting a chicken.
I'm heartless.
Yeah.
But the answer here is the adventure kit, which also just happens to be on sale right now. And I'm not telling you that because it's on sale. I'm telling you that because it's one of the best damn kits we have. And for a homestead or living out in the country or a phenomenal vehicle kit,
Oh, yeah.
What do you got, Dud?
The Rickster, have you ever had someone disabled take Responder 3?
Yep.
Yep.
We're like on the same wavelength
Yeah, we
today.
are.
Yeah,
We are.
that's twice in one live stream.
So here's the really cool thing about our essential responder program. Cap, give me a what up. He's got his headphones in, listening deeply to Tactical Paramedic Handbook right now. That's how intense our medics are. Right? So Cap will be there throughout the whole training, and a big portion of his job is to actually monitor the students. And so people have different levels that they can perform to, people have disabilities and all that stuff, and so what Cap does is he actually takes the curriculum and he tailors it on the spot to every single student. So he knows that if somebody's dealing with high blood pressure and that's what they struggle with in their life, Cap's going to watch the blood pressure a little bit more.
We've also had people who were missing their hands or who were missing their legs go through class, complete the curriculum.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You get a lot of questions like, but how would I do this with only one leg? Shit, I don't know. I've got both my legs.
But we're going to find out.
You don't. You need to figure this out because you need to know how you are going to handle this situation when it happens to you. It's the same methodologies. It's why we have these algorithms. That's why we teach you how to work these algorithms. How you work these algorithms is going to depend on you. We had one guy who was missing a thumb on his hand and having a hard time turning the windlass on a tourniquet. It's like, what do I do? Figure it out, homie. That's what you do. You figure it out. So it's to say that the class is tailored to you, I don't even think quite covers it. It's like you have professionals around you who are facilitating this training so that you can figure out how you work these algorithms. So that you, like, some people are very strong, some people are not very strong, some people are very fast, some people are not very fast, some people can count to 10, some people can't. That's okay. You need to know how you deal with this situation, not how I told you should.
We've had people who are blind take essential responders.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, and we didn't know until like halfway through the course. They're
They
like,
punked
hey,
him so hard. Too.
yeah, they could be. He said something. He's like, can you explain that slide? And he's like, what do you mean? It's right there. He's like, oh, I'm blind. I can't see it. And like everybody laughed. And he's like, no, I'm serious. And we were like, what? You made it so long without anybody knowing.
What do you got, Dud?
Michigan Munitions saying we have a demonstration coming up where we are showing our ammunition, the Bearfact 3.0, the SOB IFAC to our local sheriff deputies and church security groups.
Awesome. Well, Michigan, make sure that you're signed up for the Refuge Nation program if you're not already an affiliate. And if you have any questions on that, you can go to the website, scroll all the way to the bottom, or email sales@refugemedical.com, or just call the phone number at the bottom of the website, talk to a real human being.
Yep.
But that, first of all, great job getting your local law enforcement involved. Second of all, the Refuge Nation program, you get your own, refugemedical.com/Michigan Munitions. That's your landing page. You get your own dashboard. You get your own link that you can share out to people who want to use it. And the people who use your link get 10% off whatever the cost of their order is. And you get 5% of each order as store credit that you can put towards your next Bearfact, Adventure Kit, Stomp, whatever you're into. So it's a really cool program that Bob and my wife and a handful of other killers around here put together so that we can honor the fact that you guys are helping us do what we do. We get to help you do what you do, and you got some skin in the game as well.
We are so tired of people trying to commoditize
Amen.
saving lives.
Amen.
Everybody is trying to take this and turn it into $1 trillion freaking industry.
It's a race to the bottom.
And like, so the reason we're doing Refuge Nation is we're trying to get you guys to benefit off of this commoditization, because we really don't care about getting rich off this crap. Like, we really don't. We've got other stuff for that,
None
okay?
of us are rich.
Yeah, also, like, it's really hard for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven, okay? It's easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven.
Amen.
Boom.
So, careful on what you wish for, my friends. And so for us, we decided, let's take some profit off the top, incentivize the people going out, right? And it actually will make you guys better responders, because you will know your components and kits better. Because if you're talking about them constantly, the same way that I know where the quick clot is in an arc because I've talked about it 1,000 times, if I had to grab it, it's second nature to me.
And if you take that Refuge Nation and then you add in the TCCC series at my channel, and what's soon to be available on the website, where we go through and explain, show you, it's like a classroom setting. I sat at a table, Dudley filmed it, all a bunch of one-take wonders. It's like 8 30-minute videos. It's basically the March algorithm. It's basically responder 1. Go through that, learn how to apply a tourniquet, how to pack a wound, what chest seals are, why they matter, what's the difference between a simple pneumothorax, tension pneumothorax, open pneumothorax, closed pneumothorax, what is a patent airway, why do I need one, chin thrust, jaw lift, blah, blah, blah. What's the recovery position? All this stuff, go through all that, and then you couple that with the Refuge Nation, you're actually weaponized for good at this point.
Yeah.
And at like no cost is the point. At all that shit is free.
Yeah, notice we didn't monetize that.
It's kind of crazy how long you go through life without ever thinking of any of these things, and what a blessing that you never had to use it.
Yep.
I'm so glad I know it now, but I'm 35.
Yep.
Didn't think about this at all.
Here's the thing. I just told that story about my buddy in college, right? Mm-hmm. I needed it.
Yep.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a tourniquet.
But thankfully somebody else
Thankfully
knew.
that guy knew to put a knee down, right?
Well, so look at it like this, right? Like you're at 35, you're at a different station in life than when you were in college, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
When you were in college, how worried about insurance were you?
Right.
My parents did it.
Very little,
Spoiled.
right? But yeah, for me, I'm pushing 40 years old. Right, and one of the things I'm going through right now is making sure that there's the appropriate insurances in place to mitigate key man risk.
Right.
Because if I get hit by a bus, not only does my wife have problems, but everything inside of the enterprise has problems, right? And so you mitigate risk through insurance. And we have all, whether it's homeowners insurance or vehicle insurance or renters insurance or life insurance, medical insurance, we all understand I'm willing to pay a little bit of money to mitigate this risk, that in the event that I need this, in a critical event, I've got it, right? And it's like, oh, this is $120. Why would I spend I could get the same thing for $19 on Amazon. All right, first of all, when you're bleeding out on the ground, at least you saved a couple of bucks, because you're gonna die. So have you ever priced flowers for a funeral? Oh, good thing you saved a couple bucks, man, because you're going to need them.
Good grief.
Second of all, why, to Bob's point, why are we commoditizing life-saving equipment? It's the dumbest shit on the face of the earth. Do you want the cheapest fire extinguisher you can get? The cheapest smoke alarm? I know what I'll do. I'll get a $2 carbon monoxide alarm for my house, and that way my entire family dies when there's a leak at the stove, but I saved a couple of bucks.
I don't understand.
It's retarded. And all these other companies out there want to race to the bottom, who can make the cheapest kit with the highest profit margins so they can sell as many as they want, as many as they can, then exit the market with all of your cash, and you have no customer service, you have no aftercare, you have no replacement of components, you're not building anything, and you're not going to save a life because the kit that you saved a couple of bucks on is a piece of shit.
Yep.
And I don't know if you could tell, I'm a little passionate about this. It's the entire reason the company exists, because I couldn't find a kit that was actually going to work.
There are...
Sorry,
No.
ranting.
Well, okay, so many people will go to buy a handgun, or maybe they're like gun guys or something like that, and they won't buy a handgun because out of the 500,000 handguns that have been produced, 3 have had issues with the trigger. And they're like, no, dude, it's just not duty reliable. It's just I can't trust my life to that. I hear that all the time.
Great point.
Hear that all the time. SIG. People will not carry a SIG because I can't trust my life to that, right? And then they will go and buy a first aid kit from a company that has existed in the marketplace for 3 months and take all their money and give it to China.
Yep.
It's like, dude, I promise that right there is way worse for you and way worse for your country than buying that Sig Sauer.
Yeah, I bought the high point of first aid
Yeah,
kits.
congrats.
The Yeet kit.
Yeah, the Yeet
Oh my
kit.
gosh, this is awesome.
Let's make a Yeet kit for the
Kate
Chinese goods.
Finkelstein said,
Keenan Finkelstein?
Finkelstein.
What's up, bro?
I pay like $600 a month for health insurance for my wife and I. Coincidentally, Refuge kits have prevented me from needing it.
Praise ya. That's awesome.
Erin asked a great question on Instagram. She said, is there anything I can be doing to help my husband prepare for taking class at the end of the month?
PT,
PT.
hydrate.
Hit him with random tourniquet drills, too.
Yep.
That might help him.
I would also have an honest conversation on what's your why. Why does your husband need to know this?
Oof.
Because there's going to be some moments during Responder 3, because we've seen this, we've trained 3,500 people in the last couple of years. People want to quit.
Yeah.
And the reason they don't quit is because of their why. Your why really matters. And that's a great conversation for you to have with your husband.
Yeah.
Why do you need to know this? Like, I'm surrounded by people that I love. I'm super blessed. I get to do awesome things every day.
Amen.
There's nobody in my life that I'm okay with just simply dying because I didn't know how to save them.
Yeah, there's not a team member that's like, oh, it's okay that they don't come back. That's not an option.
Exactly. And it's part of what makes some of the other things that we do so high stakes, because there's not an acceptable rate of attrition.
No.
The acceptable rate of attrition is 0. Because I'm not going to go look at somebody's wife in their eye and be like, say, hey, sorry your husband's dead. We were doing some stupid shit. We didn't do our due diligence. We took unnecessary risk. I'm not doing that. And so I would ask your husband, honey, what's your why? Why do you need to know this? What's going to get you through those moments when you want to quit, when it's really hard and your thighs are burning and you're having auditory exclusion and tunnel vision and your fine motor skills are shot? What keeps you going?
Someone also mentioned bringing clothes you don't mind getting dirty. If you're doing Responder
100%. I would
Clothes
not.
and shoes.
Yep. I would not wear your nice clothes to Responder 3 because you were going to look like a turd.
Yeah, I've
Also-
sent many of people to Walmart the night before Responder 3 for new clothes and shoes.
Depending on the season you're taking it, like if it's summer, hydration salts,
Yep.
water, clothes that breathe well. If it's going to be cold, wear something, because water is usually involved in 3. So, being prepared for the weather.
But perspiration is always going to happen.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter what the temperature is.
Yeah, that's almost 100% guarantee. Hydration's a big thing right now. We're seeing that a lot. People are really struggling with dehydration, especially at least locally here, because we've got this big heat wave right now. Guys, we do have the hydration kit out. We got more coming in, I think, tomorrow.
They haven't shipped yet, but they are about to.
Okay.
And huge shout out to everybody that has a hydration kit and everybody who's going to get one. Because I don't have one.
No, really?
I don't have one.
Are you serious?
No, I keep seeing these awesome Refuge Nalgene bottles, and I'm like,
Hey boss,
How did that-
there's yours right there.
Ooh.
no, first of all, you need it for the backdrop. I noticed you flipping out about the backdrop earlier before we started the show.
I was just making sure everything
No,
was nice.
I appreciate, we've talked about this. We both favor different sides of the brain.
Yes.
You make it pretty. I'll make sure it has a budget and a timeline. This is great.
It's true.
It's great. Also, you won't be able to tell that it says Refuge on it if I take it because I abuse the shit out of my stuff.
Yep.
Which is why people tend to care what I have to say about products on the internet because I have multiple Nalgene bottles. This one is 3 weeks
That's
old.
the cleanest one I've
It's
Gary,
3
just so you
weeks
know.
old, and I have multiple Nalgene bottles that there's nothing on them but dirt on the outside. Everything has come off of them. Katie Lynn,
He doesn't wash them either.
I do wash them
asked him one day,
once
"Did
per
you
week.
wash that?"
Once per week I wash them, and then every week Katie Lynn's like, "You should wash that thing." I'm like, I did
Rinse it, Jeff.
yesterday.
Well, I
No,
asked
I
you
know
that
how to
one
wash
day.
dishes.
I asked you that one day because you came in with that drink you were drinking, and it looked like something. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, DJ.
Pre-workout.
Hey,
He was
yo-
like, no, it's stained. It's fine.
Yep.
Y'all don't know, with my coffee cup Contigos,
Oh.
boil hot water, pour it in, shake it up, boom, it's clean.
So-
On those Contigos, when you flip it out,
boil
and
the
you pull
water?
out the thing.
Every
What?
6
Ew.
months.
But hold
Every
on.
6 months
Every
I
6
get all the
months?
gunk out.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
That's-
Dudley, gross.
That's coffee
We're
flavor.
live, you know that, right?
Yes.
No,
I
no,
agree.
that's
Don't do that.
intestinal problems.
Yeah, that's a
Live
GI.
on the
Wait,
internet, y'all.
why do you think? Why do you think I drink kombucha all the time?
You friggin'
Oh.
need it, dude.
Yes.
Wash your
Yeah.
Contigo, says me. Also, I just want to be clear here. Don't boil water and then put it into a Nalgene
No.
bottle because it's thermoformed plastic and it will melt.
Yeah, that's
And deform. You'll have a gourd-shaped Nalgene bottle. One of one. Super
yeah,
unique.
that would be awful. But all that to say, guys, obviously stay hydrated. Don't boil your Nalgene bottles, and please wash your dishes. I guess, because that'll lead to GI issues. Wow, these lives are exciting. You get around.
What?
Does the advent?
What?
You say it like that.
What,
Why?
Lord? What do you got,
That was
Lord?
a good morning to you.
Yeah,
How are
you're-
you?
It's backwards day because
y'all
Katie Lynn
working
is
on
the ray of
something?
sunshine today. I walked in this morning and like 3 words. I said 3 words. She goes, "Well, you're very negative today." I was like, "Well, f you, sunshine." And I was like, "What is going on here?" It's like opposites day.
Yeah, I'm normally like,
Sorry,
So,
I'm
someone
sorry,
would
Lauren.
like
but
to know.
please bless us with your words.
Someone would like to know. Does the Adventure Kit 2.0 include advanced surgical kit?
Yeah,
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
SK70 or SK6 in it, so it's a 76-piece surgical set.
it only has 20 sutures in it, and curved Kellys, and hemostats, and scalpels,
And
and
dressing.
rolled gauze, and a surgical drape. And
All of It has more surgical stuff than you need, unless you are a
If
surgeon.
you need the whole SK6 out of the adventure kit,
Hit me up.
hopefully you're driving 90 miles an hour to a hospital. Yes.
But could you grab the Nalgene bottle real quick? Trevin says you sell Nalgene containers. We do. This is a little different than the one that's about to come out.
So here's our
Oh,
Nalgene
wait, this one's
bottle.
not for sale.
Higher.
$1,000
There
to
we go.
grindstone. You can have this one.
So this is an Nalgene bottle. We switched it to white lettering because we think it would pop better, right? And we sell this as a hydration kit. So we do not just sell the Nalgene bottles right now. We're talking about just selling the Nalgene bottles. If you want just a Nalgene bottle, I understand. We sell them as a kit, and the reason we do is we want people to have these hydration products. I think it's like $6 more
Yeah.
for the hydration products. So you should go ahead and grab that. And the whole thing is we teamed up with Nalgene because they're making it here in the U.S. And this is a durable container. It's bear proof, as he just talked about. And so for us, we went with the wide mouth because it has more utilization. And it's just an awesome little kit. It comes with 2 Jocko hydrates, which is for like maintaining your hydration levels. And then it also comes with 2 packets of hydration salts, which is for recovering your hydration levels. That's when you're dehydrated, you're struggling with, heat fatigue, heat stroke, all that stuff. And so, yeah, it's a really, really great product. I personally have been using it since they came in. Sorry, I didn't know you had one.
Like every day he's got it with him.
I have multiple IOUs in the packet of Jocko Hydration over there.
All the time. He just walks in, he takes it, and he's like, "Hey, Britt,
I
have
know.
you seen my
It's almost like I
IOUs?"
own the place or something.
So the other day I went
How
to
dare, how dare I?
The other day, I went
Rude.
in to grab 2 hydration salts, and I wrote, "I owe you for 2 hydration salts." I went to go put that in and grabbed your sticky note that said, "I owe you for 2 hydration." I was like, okay. I was like,
If
she's
you-
gonna hate me.
If you've looked at mine, it says I owe you for 2, and then that's crossed out 4, and then that's crossed out 6. I just keep using the same sticky note.
I owe you for 1 bag.
Lymph.
I have 2 things. The first is just funny, and then I'll ask the actual question. Cynical 1800 said, "If I wanted to join the bear community business conglomerate in southeastern Oklahoma, is that something I could do? Is there a tryout process
Yes.
where I run a tactical obstacle course?
Yes.
Prove that I can sit in front of a plate of bacon without touching it?
Yes.
Looking to move my family, just asking."
Yes.
Send us an email.
Yep. There's multiple things.
That's not the wrong way to
It
ask.
usually starts with Shabbat.
Yeah.
Next.
The other thing is hydration question. Do you have any tutorials on placing an IV for a canine? And he had asked earlier if we had any tutorials. So that's really not something you need like an actual medical
So
you gotta
so
professional.
here's the thing. whenever you get to teaching something that's invasive, meaning making new holes in people, in order for me to teach you that, you have to, this law changed about 3 years ago now, you have to have funny letters after your name. It didn't used to be that way. There are other channels that are out there that will have tutorials on how to do that. You may let your fingers do some walking on the internet there, but I cannot legally teach you how to poke holes in people unless you're part of an agency, an organization that's already sanctioned, and you have a medical professional who's directing your care, your courses of action, and your procedures, TTPs, tactics, techniques, procedures on that, or you have funny letters after your name that are at least EMTB or above.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, no IV classes. Yeah, it's just same way with Needle D, man.
And there's also something that can be said hypothetically for certain types of animals. They have, you can go intramuscular, subcutaneous. It doesn't have to be intravenous. It doesn't have to be inside the tube that's carrying the blood, oxygenated blood around the body. You can go intramusculature, and sometimes those four-footed animals, there's a hump of skin right behind the back of their neck that, you know, on like a stuffed animal or something, could work really well.
It's like where they give him, the vet will give him the vaccine, right?
You mean in the same place where the vet would give them a shot?
Yeah.
No. All right.
No.
I would
Don't-
never. No.
Don't talk
Right.
to your vet about this.
Anyways,
Don't talk to anybody, especially a vet.
Stay in your house.
People are dangerous.
just never leave. What's the difference between the Ark and the Rock?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Ark and the Rock is just the Ark bag built out a little bit differently for a resource officer. So it has some additional child application systems in there. So it's got some additional child tourniquets and some additional wound packing gauze.
Yeah, so the Rock is something that typically has only been available to school resource officers. It's on the website and currently lacking a description because we're in the process of populating that description because it's not generally available to the public. But the Rock is the resource officer casualty kit, and just to what Bob is saying, is it's designed more for a wide spectrum of casualties, including, unfortunately, children.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that you all were able to say that without raising one eyebrow every
Rock.
time you said The Rock.
Can I please make it with his face in the background?
No, because he has way more money than us, and when he sues us, he's going to win.
Yeah.
See, this is what Chief Executive Officer,
Yeah.
which
You see
has a lot to
creativity?
do with what do you say
Calm
no
down.
to. Also, the ARC, it's important to articulate that the ARC can treat 1 to 2
Yeah.
trauma casualties. So it works great as a personal IFAC individual first aid kit, but it also can work in a multi-casualty role as well. So for an officer, for anything, any tactical application. And what's super cool about it is that if you get the dangler attachment, you can run it on your plate carrier and when it's or your chest rig. When it's not on your plate carrier or your chest rig, you use the headrest straps and attach it to the back of the headrest in your vehicle. So you have one kit that can travel with you depending on what you're doing.
What would you recommend for our Airbnb for a small first aid
Hi,
kit?
Raincat.
That's a
Raincat.
great question.
Yeah, it is.
So they have a sweet Airbnb. Have you seen that thing?
I haven't seen their Airbnb.
Freaking amazing.
Okay,
Sorry,
awesome.
it's a treehouse.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Cool job having a
so-
treehouse.
An Ox Advanced would cover everything.
Everything.
And very reasonably priced. What, $329,
Yeah.
something like that? It would cover everything.
And it hangs on the wall.
Yep. And if not that, then I would look at like the Adventure Kit. You're gonna have more sports medicine injury stuff in there. The Adventure Kit covers boo-boos, broken bones, bullet holes. The Adventure Kit has everything that's inside of a bear fac in it, plus splinting,
Yeah.
and plus all your boo-boo stuff, a whole
Surgical.
Yeah, what do you got, Dad?
We got a superhero from the UK checking in because over here we have the Dark Knight. We got Winter Knight over here saying Shalom, Baron Bob from Italy.
Shalom.
I love.
Shalom.
Yeah, there you
Shalom.
go.
Oh, I lost it. I love you despite the insane shipping prices from Oklahoma to Europe. Any chance of setting up a European distributor for Refuge Medical in the future? Thanks, David.
In the future, yes. VAT tax, I just want to be clear, as an American, I had nothing to do with making you pay an additional 30 to 40% on everything that you buy.
We actually started a war over that type of stuff.
Yeah, we just celebrated that shit yesterday. Yeah, VAT tax is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We've been approached by a couple of people as far as putting a hub in Europe. Haven't found anybody yet that fits our ethos. And I will also tell you, and I'm not talking to you, White Knight, I'm talking to everybody else who's in Europe. If we ship something to you, it is your responsibility to go to the Duty and Customs office and pick your shit up and or go sign the paperwork. Because unfortunately, we had one person in Norway who, I think 3 times we tried to send them stuff, and 3 times they're like, we never got it. It was like, did you go pick it up from the customs office? Oh, I didn't know I had to do that. Like, well, we emailed you twice telling you to go pick it up. $1,400 in shipping later, which we ate. We just took that stuff, put it back in inventory, and we're like, sorry, dude, if you're not going to go pick it up, I can't help you. And I just want to reiterate again, not European, not in charge of any of that bullshit. I don't like it as much as you don't like it, but I really do, on the flip side, appreciate you jumping through all of those hoops to be able to have our product. So thank you.
Have you thought about moving to America? We have really good pizza here. You're Italian.
Okay, hold on. Whoa, crunchy factor coming into the chat really quick. Okay, Italian's flour is real flour, not like here where it's just absolute primo garbage.
All right, listen. You ever been to the Northeast?
There we go.
Is it hybridized?
Have you ever been to the Northeast?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh.
Wait, how far northeast?
I've been to Connecticut. I've been
Nope.
to New York.
She's not folded their pizza.
Eh.
She's never
I'm
folded
talking
her pizza.
about the actual product.
Have you ever eaten a slice in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty?
I was in New York,
It's a
but
yes or no
I
question.
did not stand in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Fired. Get out.
If you have not been in fear for your safety whilst eating a piece of pizza in the middle of the night.
Hey, Bob, I'm Italian. We don't have good pizza. How dare
Hey, you've never been to Chicago, so you're wrong.
That's lasagna.
Okay, first of all, that is an option. Yes, deep dish, okay? But
Heavy.
also
you?
thin crust.
Emmy, get back on the boat.
You know what, dude? There's
Hannah says not an
about
option.
12 million Chicagos that will fight you guys, and they will win. Okay, they've been at war for 30 years.
So I just posted on Instagram earlier. I'm not condoning this behavior, but somebody took a whole bunch of fireworks, like 4-foot long fireworks, duct taped them together, and turned them into shoulder-fired rockets in
Nice.
Chicago, and was shooting them at cop cars. And I was like, I don't love the application, but the thought process is brilliant.
Golly.
What happens?
I
if it
love-
misfires? I mean, that dude loses a head.
Dude.
Fine,
Oh yeah,
right.
for sure. But
Salah, we'll see you on the other side, bro.
So are we rocking that the next time we do airsoft?
Oh my
No,
God.
you can. I'm not.
if you wear a backpack filled with fire extinguishers, go for
It's
it.
the opposite of like the guys in Vietnam where they just had like literal petrol fuel in a backpack with a
Just definitely
flamethrower.
walking around with fire extinguishers.
Hey, we do. Well, I'm thinking about it. We do have the Iridium Group in Canada. So if you're Canadian and you want Refuge products, check out the Iridium Group. Go see Snowbird because he's carrying Refuge products in Canada.
He wants
So-
to come down this year.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
He wants to come down in October.
We're like what? We've been on here in like an hour.
It's about that time.
We have 1 minute for an outro.
1 minute for an outro.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an outro that takes a minute. Buy first aid gear. No, guys, in all seriousness, I mean, we love doing this, and the reason that we sit down and we take time out of, I promise, our busy schedules is to talk to you and give you the opportunity to ask questions. I don't see another company that invites their chief operating officer and their chief executive officer onto a live stream every week to answer questions.
And not just answer questions, but when we step in it, we will come on here and tell you, yeah, we totally effed that up.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Yeah.
We will fix that for you.
Yeah,
That happened with the stomp bag.
Being super negative.
That happened,
Sorry, sunshine.
That happened when we found out that we couldn't do the Bic lighters, and Brett was like, "Yeah, we're gonna make a video about it. We're
Yep.
gonna tell everybody."
Yeah.
It's like another company would be like, "No, we're not gonna tell everybody. We're gonna find a way to like sweep it
No.
under the rug, and we'll just like
Guys,
move.
it turns
I
out if you
almost said
own your
transition,
mistakes,
doesn't it?
people will forgive you.
I am the way, the truth,
Ooh,
the life,
there it is, dude. Be
the
honest.
truth.
Yeah,
Yep.
You can't be lying. I mean, it's just that simple. So as always, guys, we love you. We cherish you. We
Back.
appreciate what you do in supporting us, talking about us, hanging out on the live stream. We really, really could not and would not be doing this without you. If you haven't become part of the Refuge Nation program, you're asleep. You need to wake up. It's a really good way to get free gear by just be doing basic dude stuff and talking to people about med.
We love you. Wake up.
Wake up.
All right, that's the show. If you got any questions, or call the phone number at the bottom of the website. Real people will answer the phone, I promise you.
Carry one.
Bless you
Real
all.
people named Heath.
Shalom.